my darlings, this is Mrs. Snodgrass here to teach you about form. You are going to be creating a form today, a 3D shape, a shape that pops out at you. And here's what you're going to need, love. First of all, you're going to need a balloon with a little name tag on it. Then you'll need a bowl to hold your balloon in while you're working. You'll also need a glue mixture. It's just water and glue. You're going to need to mix it together with a paintbrush. You'll need a Sharpie and lastly some white papers. Your job is to cover the whole balloon in white papers with the glue mixture. But first, the most important step of all. You must take a Sharpie and write your name and code upon the tag. Look how I lay the tag on my finger so that I can actually write on it. My finger creates a hard surface so that I can write neatly. You might need to write the code upon the back of the tag because, let's be honest, these tags are tiny. If you forget to put your name on this balloon, you might run the risk of losing it and you might never see it again. Better write your name. Alright, let's get started. First, you're going to need to put some of the glue mixture upon the balloon form with the paintbrush, like this. See how I'm holding the balloon with one hand while I paint it with the other hand? You should do that too. Once you've glued a nice area, put some white paper on top. Now check it out, I'm making X's, I'm crisscrossing the papers. The more that you crisscross the papers, ladies and gentlemen, the stronger your form will be at the end. After you've stuck a few pieces of paper onto the balloon, it's time to lay them flat. Get a lot of the glue mixture upon the paintbrush and really scrub the paper with the glue mixture. You know when you're done, when all the paper is laying flat upon the balloon. Remember, darlings, that your job today is to cover this whole balloon with the white papers. So, be quick about it. I want you to at least have one layer of paper all over this balloon by the end of class today. And don't forget, you need to go back on top of the paper and put more of the glue mixture to lay the pieces flat. This is so important, you guys. Do not skip this part. Your form will be very, very weak if you leave the paper dry and flappy. Alright, I'm done with that part. Let's put some more papers on this part right here. Remember, the more you crisscross papers, the stronger that your form is going to be. Because this form right here is going to be the body of your fish. And we are going to pop the balloon inside of it, inside of all the papers, after it's all dry and strong. So that balloon is not going to be there to support the paper anymore at the end. You need to make sure that you're crisscrossing the papers and adding a lot of the glue mixture as well. Not only that, but you need to add layers. So even after I'm done covering this balloon once, I need to do it again and again. Every once in a while, you'll want to make sure that your name tag is safe and sound at the top and you didn't cover it with anything. And also to see what your game plan is, where you're going to put the next paper. Remember, the whole balloon needs to be covered except for the name tag and the little tail of the balloon, but right around the little tail of the balloon. Yes, you need to cover those areas. So here I go. I lay down some papers to cover it, and then I slather it with a bunch of glue mixture. If you ever need to pick up your foam with your hands, that's fine. Just use the tips of your fingers instead of your whole hand, to double check everything. I have completely covered this whole balloon at least once with paper, but there's a problem. I've got a lot of flaps sticking out. That is not okay. Those flaps will be permanent if you don't do something about them right now. So take a lot of the glue mixture and make sure that all the flaps and gaps are stuck down, that all the paper is flat against the balloon. You can even use a scrubbing motion to get all the flaps down. Hopefully you get done with your first layer today so that we can let it dry and work on another layer tomorrow. The next art class, of course. Okie dokie, so I've done one layer, and even if it's been a couple of days between the first and second and third layer, I can keep adding more paper to it. Just make sure that you have lots of glue mixture put down first, and then lay down the paper on top, crisscrossing as much as you can, and then be sure to go back and cover it with more glue mixture to lay it flat. And that's how you add your second layer, and your third layer, and even fourth layer. The more layers of paper that you add to this form, the stronger it's going to be when you pop the balloon. You might think, oh my gosh, Mrs. Snodgrass, this is done. I've worked on it for hours now. But if you've only put one layer, or if there are tiny little holes in where the balloon is not covered, then you're not done, my love. You need to keep going. Yes, my second layer is done. Am I done? No. I need to add layer number 3. Always being careful to not cover my name tag because, again, if you cover the name tag, we won't know whose it is. There will be no way to get it back to you because, let's be honest, at this point, all of these look exactly the same, don't they? Make sure you protect your name. And if you lose your name tag, you need to let me know as quickly as possible. Okay, darlings, by now I've added 3 layers of paper to my balloon. My last step is to double check that I didn't miss any parts of the balloon to cover. If you look closely, you can see it. I can see the light blue sticking out through that paper. So everywhere I see that, I'm adding another piece at least. I know this takes forever, but the more time that you put into your form, the stronger, the better, the more beautiful it will be. So I want to give you one last job. If you've done at least 3 layers and you have double checked for holes, the last thing I want you to do is just go ahead and cover the whole thing with another layer of glue mixture. It will help make the form smoother and easier to paint when we turn it into a fish. Oh my gosh, you did so amazing. We're finally done and it's time to clean up. You are going to use the rags today to wipe your hands. Let's face it, we don't have time for everyone to wait in line by the sinks to wash their hands. So we're using a rag. You need to put your glue mixture on the tray, your balloon and bowl on the tray, and your leftover paper on the tray. Give the trays to Mrs. Toth. And then, after wiping your hands with the rag, go ahead and use it to wipe the table as best you can to get all that sticky glue off. Can't wait till these dry and we get to paint them.